have community schools now. It's part of work that I've done. I went to the Board of Education and I asked the board to please fund the Youth Risk Behavior Survey. This is a survey that is anonymously given to all the students in middle school and high school, where they can share the types of crises that they may be experiencing. So you know how many children are, whether they're getting healthy meals, you know how many children are having experiences with sex, you know how many children are having experiences with drug and alcohol, you know how many children are experiencing homelessness, or whatever the crisis situations may be. There needed to be a way to account and understand what that data was so that we can know what services needed to be put in place. That wasn't going on before 2012. I'm the parent that went to the board and said, we need to have this done, and before you know it, they went and did it. Another thing that happened while I was a parent in the district, besides the boycott, was my individual protest to move my child to a school in good standing. I talked about how out of 57 schools, only 12 were schools in good standing. Now all of our schools in good standing, but we had persistently low achieving schools, and the school that my one child was in, Waterfront, was a failing school. And I helped to write the turnaround plan for that school, and the school is now a school in good standing. I protested for my daughter to be moved from that school. It didn't happen while she was there. She had to be moved. But I protested for 11 weeks in front of the superintendent's office and said, move my child to a school in good standing. Week after week, I was there on my lunch break with my sign. I went to go and meet the superintendent. She wouldn't take my call or wouldn't come talk to me about it. She let me stand there, and I stood there. And I did this 11 weeks until they said, well, you know what, we can't move her, but we can give you at-home instruction. It was 10 hours a week of instruction. She got 2 hours a day of math or ELA, and the teachers would come to us. So that happened, and I showed that other parents could get the same thing. So plenty of people have that now and know that they can do it. And when they gave it to me, I said thank you, but I still went back down and I protested in front of the superintendent's office. Eventually they did move my daughter to a school in good standing. But even as a result, while that was happening, I filed a complaint with the Office of Civil Rights because I believe that my child had been discriminated against. I lived in a neighborhood where Olmsted School was, and with Olmsted School being there, my other daughter was going there, and I figured my younger daughter could go there too since we lived in the neighborhood. And when I went to say, can my child go here, they said no. I said, well, that doesn't make sense. I said, because the other Olmsted in North Buffalo, those children that live in that neighborhood that want to go to that school and they have siblings, they get to do it. They said that doesn't matter. So what I ended up doing was filing this complaint. Office of Civil Rights came in and investigated the entire district, and what they found out was that Buffalo Public Schools is more segregated now than it was back in 1964, literally. And then they had put in recommendations that the district had to put into place in order to get into compliance with what the federal government said they should do. And the district did, some of them, not all of them. But as a result, right now, we now have 10 new schools because you couldn't have all those children cramped into these failing schools and not allowing them to get into the criteria-based schools because they were criteria-based. So now we have 10 new schools in the district as a result of that. Children being able to be equal opportunities to get into Hut Tech and City Honors and Da Vinci and all those good schools. So that's another thing. Parents didn't have shared decision-making, meaning that, you know, parents were there for the look and say there's parents, but parents did not have a seat at the table to talk about what was happening in the schools for their children. And we said we need to be able to have, you know, meaningful collaboration. We need to help with the decision-making process about what happens for our children. These are our children. And what ended up happening was we did complain to the state, and the law did say that there should be parents should be able to be at the table to help make some of these decisions. So they froze all of the district's money. They froze the money, and they wouldn't release the money until they put the site-based shared decision-making into place within our district. To any of the things that I've done, what I do now, I work with parents every day. Parents call, send me emails, my child is suspended, this is going on, that is going on. I kind of am a liaison between the parents in the district, and I send the emails and I walk parents through processes to get the results that they need for their children. So I kind of help parents and help by advocating for children. So with me as a board member, it's not me as a board member because I'm just trying to look at the budget or help to write policy or, those things. I'm also a parent, and I have the heart of a parent. I consider the parent before I make certain kinds of decisions. I'm not going to make a decision blindly, and say, we're going to cut out these bus routes, but half the people that live in that side of town are walkers or need the bus. I'm driving a car. I don't need to catch a bus, so it doesn't matter to me. No, I'm a parent, and it matters to me how the decisions we make affect our parents and our children. So outside of that, I've helped write policy. I helped to write this code of conduct that we use now. I helped to write the wellness policy that we use now. I helped to write the parenting involvement policy that we use now, amongst other things. I need to know that I'm doing my part to make sure that this district has everything put in place so that when they hit the doors of Buffalo Public Schools for the first time, everything that they need to become a student that is forever growing and forever learning and forever looking to learn, all those things will be in place.